Hey y'all, so I'm going to be watching the second episode of Queens on ABC. Now, the premiere episode was definitely interesting, definitely made me go, I'm gonna attempt to keep watching this. But I always feel as though the second episode is really where you can see if a show is gonna be worth watching, because you can have a great premiere and then everything just falls apart in the next episode. Like, you don't tend to live up to the hype sometimes. So I'm very excited to see where Brandy, Naturi, and Eve go, and Puerto Rican girl whose name I was supposed to look up before I did my intro, but I will talk about that later after the show. So we'll get into this in a bit. Alright, y'all. So the second episode just ended, and I feel as though it was different than the pilot episode. It gave us some more background about things that had happened. They're still using the flashback and everything, which I'm totally cool with. I have no problem with flashbacks. I still feel as though Valeria. I feel as though her character in this episode actually brought something to the episode, to the story, to the narrative that's happening, and she ain't shit. Valeria, the Eric dude, ain't shit. And I'm so mad at myself that I didn't realize the guy in the preview from last week was Cameron. But, Cam's in there. Cam's in this episode. And I'm like, oh, that this is dope. I really appreciate him coming on stage and him being there, being with his, pink mink coat. I'm just like, yes, 2001. And then, Eve's character, Bree, like, her husband's lying. I refuse to believe, I understand, short-term memory does happen after having brain surgery, but, he said, he was doing all this research on, Grey's Anatomy and everything, and I'm just like, he lying. He is lying. Lies. And so there's one thing that I did not like about this episode. I felt like it was out of place. There was this musical scene, which it just didn't make sense in how they've been directing the other episodes. Yes, this show has music. People are performing. But anytime music is happening, it's somebody's on stage. They're in the studio. They're in the rehearsal space. There's no musical style music scene happening until this episode. And I just really didn't dig it. It just felt out of place unless they're going to do that more. Now, if they're going to continue to do that, then bet, because I love musicals. But as of right now, it just felt out of place for this episode for me. Also, so for Naomi, no explicit lyrics, I really feel as though I understand her struggle with what it is she is working towards, what she wants to happen with the group, what she wants to happen with herself, and then she has this opportunity, and you should have, why didn't you sit down and talk to your people about this and try to make this thing work? Because I don't know, I just was like, did you actually go or no? Because I'm actually really digging hearing Brandy singing. If we get to hear Brandy do more singing about them, but she's also actually a pretty dope rapper. All right, so what have y'all thought about episode 2? Was it enough to you go, I'm gonna watch the next episode to see how it keeps going, or was this kind of it didn't really carry on for me? So let me know.